We have a major Roki Sasaki update. The Dodgers are actively trying to sign the Japanese star pitcher, but there's going to be some stiff competition. We got an update today from his agent. We get into all that. Also, Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts about to get that payday. Yeah, that's right. The Dodgers manager, Dave Roberts, looking like he's going to get a massive payday. We get into all that in this edition of Dodgers Digest. Hey, it's Mike Nelson. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the 21% of the ones who are watching these videos who have already hit the sub button, but 78% of you have not subscribed yet. Myself, Brad J, we're bringing you everyday Dodger content. You're not going to find content like this anywhere else. We're the best Dodger channel out there, so make sure to hit the sub button. We got over 6,000 of you. Let's make it 7,000 before January ends. Let's get right into it. Of course, Roki Sasaki, the Dodgers met with them last month. Of course, last year, right? Happy New Year, everybody. Last year in December of 24, the Dodgers met with Sasaki, and now we're in the new year. And a second round of interviews, second round of meetings, basically like a job interview, right? I mean, the Dodgers are trying to basically try to convince Sasaki to come to LA. But those second round of meetings are going to happen, basically closer to when the pitcher decides to sign, and he's expected to sign in the next international signing period, which is basically January 15th. So the next couple of weeks, we're probably going to get a decision from Roki Sasaki, and this is obviously massive. His agent, Josh Wolf, talked to Will Salmon of The Athletic, and the timeline for round 2 is going to lead up right until he signs. That's what Wolf said. We're still talking and having Zoom calls. He doesn't have a precise timeline for that, like we did for the meetings. Teams will be notified at some point there's going to be an additional meeting or travel or something like that, but he doesn't believe there's any specific timeline exactly when Sasaki is going to sign a contract or have that second meeting. There's been reports, of course, that Sasaki has met with 20 teams. It's unclear, exactly virtually or in person, but 20 teams basically are in contact with Sasaki, and that's absolutely, crazy, right? This article says it's unknown. I've read reports that it's 20 teams, but this article from Sports Illustrated kind of confirmed the Dodgers as being the top team there. The Mets, the Yankees, the Cubs, the Giants, the Padres, the Rangers, they have basically all had in-person meetings according to this article from Sports Illustrated. So basically, last week we talked about how there was some teams just added on recently, right? I mean, San Diego was not on that list before. It looks like they've had, I guess, a meeting recently. And also the Cubs have also been added to that list of teams that have met with Sasaki in person. Of course, there's been Zoom meetings with Sasaki. Probably from the beginning, there were Zoom meetings with Sasaki and his agent, trying to figure out exactly, what they were looking for. But the in-person meeting definitely signifies that Sasaki has more of a higher interest, right, of going to one of those said teams. And to see the Dodgers and Yankees and teams like that on this list is not surprising at all, because you would expect Sasaki to sign with a team like that, right? I mean, you expect him to sign with a top-tier team like that. I mean, I just don't see him going to a small market. There's just no reason to, right? I mean, he's highly coveted. Money thing. The thing is here, of course, he can't get. There's a certain limit to how much money he can be paid due to the fact, of his age and coming from, another country. There is a limit. Due, Major League Baseball has those rules in place to prevent teams like the Dodgers and Yankees just signing all the top players for the most money from other countries. So there is a limit. So that's why there's more teams involved. That's exactly why there's more teams involved. And that second meeting is going to definitely, make things, work out better. Now, but Wolf also immediately shut down rumors and speculations surrounding an unwritten agreement between the client and, his client, which, of course, Sasaki and the Dodgers. Sasaki also emphasized a level playing field for all 20 teams interested in signing by placing parameters throughout the process. And some of those parameters include, if we take a look at this next slide here, Sasaki met with teams. He requested that no players be present at the meetings. So no Ohtani, no Yamamoto was at the Dodgers in-person meeting. That has been confirmed. Sasaki did not want any players at, his meeting, his first meeting, of course, with the Dodgers. Maybe the second meeting, things will be different. But at this first meeting, there was no players available. Ohtani or Yamamoto couldn't try to convince Sasaki on the idea of coming to the Dodgers. So that's definitely interesting. I don't know what you guys think. Comment below. Sasaki not wanting players. He just wants to keep it all, I guess, owners and executives. It's kind of strange, right? I mean, I think you would want to talk to, players in those meetings and, just, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Listening also today to AM 570, Fred Rogan was talking about the whole situation. And he had an interesting point talking about how that Sasaki, if the Dodgers and Sasaki was that done as we think it is, then he would have only met with the Dodgers, right? And that's clearly not the case, right? Sasaki has met with various teams. He's probably met with, all 20 already in some way, Zoom, most likely. He's already met with all 20 teams, most likely. And then, of course, he's had these in-person meetings and probably potentially going to have even more meetings in the next few weeks. But if he was very interested in coming only to the Dodgers, he would have only met with the Dodgers, right? And that's clearly not the case. I mean, it seems like Sasaki is keeping his options open. So what does that tell you? Does Sasaki really want to come to LA? I think he does want to come to LA, but keeping those options open makes, I think, fans nervous, right? Because you want to see this kind of be the Dodgers. At the beginning of this whole situation with Sasaki, the Dodgers were front runners. That's kind of how it was, right? The Dodgers are going to be front runners, and they're going to sign him and all this. That's kind of, we even heard, Dallas Keuchel, former Major League Baseball player, talking about how there's an agreement between the Dodgers and Sasaki. I don't know if all that's true. I mean, it's hard to know what's going on, but it definitely seems like there's more teams involved now, so you just have to wait and see. But we're going to get a decision soon for sure from Sasaki. Now, let's get into this next story. Dave Roberts reportedly could become the highest paid manager in Major League Baseball history. Roberts has his final year of his 3-year deal, going to be expiring at the end of this year. And, of course, he wants a lucrative contract extension, which is expected, according to Jack Harris of LA Times. What do you guys think? Comment below. Does Dave Roberts deserve to be the highest paid manager in Major League Baseball history? Dave Roberts, myself included, I always criticize the guy. I was one of those fire Roberts guys all the time. But I think last year he definitely shut everybody up with the job he did with the team, with all the injuries, and just in the playoffs too. He made some good moves. He used the bullpen correctly. He utilized what he had exactly to the T, right? And that's exactly why the Dodgers won the World Series, and they're champions, right? Because of Dave Roberts as well. So I think the Dodgers have to try to sign him. Dave Roberts previously said he commended, of course, Craig Counsell's big contract, but he said the reason why he got that money is because he went free agent, right? So Dave Roberts could potentially, manage this year on his last year of his deal and go free agent and kind of just take the best offer. So that could potentially happen as well. But a part of me thinks that Dave Roberts is going to sign with LA. He wants to stay here. He wants to win more championships, and, we don't want him to go as well. As always, make sure to subscribe, and let's go Dodgers. Woo!